5 habits that make you more attractive instantly. Hi, I'm Antia, founder and creator of the Magnetize Your Man Method. And look, if you are new to my channel, comment, like, and subscribe so you get notified for more juicy and innovative creative ideas that help you to attract that right man. So let's go ahead and dive right in. Number 5, what's your storyline? Now, oftentimes, what happens is we tell ourselves a lot of different stories. So I give you an example. When I met my husband, Brody, we met in a spiritual discussion group 8 years ago. We just had like 8-year meeting anniversary. He was typing on his phone during the discussion group. And I thought, how rude. He's texting another girl, because who else would you text so rigorously and so urgently that you can't even wait until the discussion group is over, only to find out, okay, so this is where the story comes in, that he was taking notes. So what is your storyline? What interpretations are you making, and how can you make even more positive, affirmative interpretations versus negative interpretations, right? Having stories like there's no good men out there, or like they're not gonna last, or they're not gonna ask me out on a second date, or they all just want sex. Watch your storyline and then turn them around. So one example here is asking yourself powerful questions in the morning to set yourself up for the right storyline. How can I be even more available to all the amazing men that are already around me? How can I be even more aware of all those quality men that are already here right now? Like creating storylines, they're already here. Everything is happening on my behalf, right? Like God works in my favor. Never, God works for me, not against me, right? So you can create all those different stories. And I started with that because my husband, when I met him, he actually told me that I'm the girl of his story. So I was like, story, what does that mean? Well, he had written out exactly his story, what he wants in a woman and how that story goes. And that was, of course, coming from his unconscious expectations. And then he was rehearsing it every day, year in, year out, week in, week out. And he even did that after we were dating, because now he was creating the kind of life that we would be creating together, so on. So always be aware of what's your storyline. Now, number 4 is own your shadow. Now, I just got off an interview that was about flirting. And in order to really effectively flirt, you have to be able to own your shadow, because otherwise you are not going to be yourself, because you're afraid to be called out, right? You're afraid to be called, that you are a bitch, or that you are too much, or that you are selfish, or that you are arrogant. But if you own that shadow, if you say, yeah, I can be arrogant. Yeah, I am selfish, then nobody can call you out on that, because you already know that. And then you get to actually show up authentically, and the man can really feel how much you're advocating for yourself, which is extremely attractive. So I give you an example what own your shadow can look like. So I was at a business conference, that must have been, 5 years ago. Okay, so I was told back then that I was borderline arrogant. Okay, grew the company really fast, all of that, like great results for my clients, and so on and so on. And so, interesting, I was on stage, 100, 200, 300 women in the audience, I don't remember, like lots, hundreds of women for sure. And just having told that. And so I could have done 2 things. I could have been like, oh, no, I'm so sorry. I could have like apologized. I could have been like, oh no, I'm not arrogant. I'm so grateful. I'm so, right? But what I did instead, I did a whole sexy dance, because I knew I have to own that highly charged. Can you imagine that tension when she said that, when that mentor at the time said that? Wow, amazing, so attractive. So that I got to really be like, ooh, I'm arrogant. All right. Okay. All right. Right. And I got to do like a sexy dance with that and own that. And when my husband saw that, he was just totally mesmerized. And even other women were mesmerized. Like they was wondering, what was I doing in the corner there, doing the sexy dance right after I was told that I'm arrogant, right? So what is that for you? What are you afraid to be called? What are you afraid to be found out about? Okay. All right, so we're gonna talk about that more in my free masterclass. You can hop on over to mymclass.com to find out more. Okay, so let's go into number 3, which is extremely attractive to men, which is embracing play. Hello, be joyful, be funny. You know, I have Beyonce here, my love lion. Okay, like there's always some playful element. I have like this incredible painting by Thomas Kincaid hanging here, which is from Cinderella, when she's turned into Cinderella before she goes into a pumpkin carriage, right? Embrace some play. Don't just say, well, I'm the adult. I need to have it all together. I need to be competent. That's not attractive at all. Like what's attractive is actually being spontaneous. Like let go of who you think you are and who you think you need to be. And by the way, also on top of that, it allows you to change your habits so much faster. Because research actually shows that if you try to change your habit from a self-disciplined place and you have to do this right and all of that, it takes you about, I think it was about 400 repetitions, okay, until the myelin sheath is, wrapped around the axons enough to create new neuronal pathways. Okay. However, when you did it with doodling, with play, it only took about 20 repetitions. So that is also what the man experiences as well. It's sort of like, how fast can you change? How fast can you change habits that you want to change, which of course increases your confidence and increases your resourcefulness, and of course increases your attraction factor. Now, number 2 is be mysterious to yourself. So that adds on a little bit to what I said earlier, which is like, don't make assumptions about who you are. But instead, if I were to say, let's do an exercise and let's pretend you're just letting go of everything you are. Your mom, what roles you have, what job title you have, if you have your own company, if you're a sister, like whatever it is, right? Like if you're a cousin and aunt, whatever. So all those identities, if you let all of that fall away, you are actually mysterious to yourself. You're like, wait a minute, if all that falls away, who am I? Right? And if you are mysterious to yourself, that's extremely attractive. Why is that? Well, because you are on the edge of your comfort zone. There's this edge, and edges are always attractive. Okay? And it also gives the man the certainty as well, so he can focus on his own mysteriousness inside of himself. And of course, what you focus on expands. So you get to actually discover that maybe you like a certain hobby that you didn't know that you were really, really good at because you were not mysterious to yourself. What comes to mind there is, I forgot what her name was, but I loved Survivor, the show. And there was this one incredible woman, and she was just like she said, she was just sitting on a couch with her husband, was just working. I think she was a nurse. And I don't remember her name, Charisse or something like that. What's her name, I think? I know now you will probably want to know in the comment section. But she was mysterious to herself. She said, okay, so I know who I am. I know I'm the nurse and the mom and sitting on a couch, enjoying my evenings with my husband. What else is possible? Okay. And then she came on Survivor and just went really far. She went to the finale, right? Absolutely incredible. Changed her life completely. And so that's what you want to think about yourself, right? Like, how can you put yourself in different soil? And wow, maybe you have seeds inside of yourself. If you were put into that soil, you would blossom, you would flourish in ways that you don't even know. And again, that's the thing. That's when you talk to a lot of couples that are married 40, 50 years, or that like have no problems attracting men into your life, is they embrace that mysteriousness inside of themselves. Now, we also talk a lot about it in a free Magnetize Your Man Facebook group. And you can ask, of course, ask as many questions as you have in there as well. mymfbgroup.com. And lastly, I know, don't be offended. Tip number 1, speak less, feel more. What I see oftentimes my women describing to me when they go on a date is they talk more and they feel less, because they talk so they don't have to feel. Because what they feel is uncomfortable. What they feel is shame. What they feel is insecurity. What they feel is inadequacy. What they feel is guilt, and so on and so on. But actually, the most powerful thing you can do is actually feeling yourself, because then the man across from you can feel himself as well. Remember, men don't remember what the date was all about, what you talked about, but they remember how you made them feel. So think about that. If you speak a lot and you're like, I did this and I accomplished that, and isn't that a funny story, and so on, but they don't really feel you, then there's not going to be really an imprint and impact. And then what happens is they go home and they forget all about you. And then you are heartbroken because you thought you had such a great date, and you are pretty sure that he's going to reach out to you, and you don't even know like why he's not reaching out to you. This is why, because he didn't really feel you. But then another woman comes in and actually they feel the woman. Men actually feel a woman first before they turn their head and then see what she looks like and so on. They feel the feminine first. So that's what I would recommend for you. And how do you do that? Is by really coming to yourself, taking a breath, even calling yourself out and saying, you know what? I could share a lot about this right now. I could talk a lot about this. We could get really lost here right now. But hey, I'd love to just like take that moment in with you. And so notice what occurs. The man feels space, the man feels acknowledged, the man feels connected to, and the man feels that you are confident because you felt the courage to actually be in the space, in the gap. So if you want to learn more how to do all of that, take my free quiz to attract your man at magnetizeyourman.com. Ladies, this is it for today. Lots of love to you. And one question I have for you for the comment section is like, which of those habits are really a breakthrough point for you that would really help you to be more attractive to men? So leave that below in the comment section. Lots of love to you, and mwah! I'll talk to you in the next video. Bye-bye.